I'm Sherry with The Watering Mouth, and today I just wanted to do a recipe that I really love. I actually just tried it recently a few weeks ago to test it out, and it worked fine, so I'm passing it on to you now. I saw this paper here over the holidays from Whole Foods. It just has a bunch of recipes for holiday foods, and one of them that caught my eye was the double green smoothie. When you hear the word green and it comes to food, it usually means some leafy greens, and putting them in a smoothie is a really, really easy way to get your vegetables in for the day. Instead of having to really do the 5 servings, you can just throw a bunch of this in a smoothie and pretend like you're just eating fruit or something. So it's called double green because there's 2 different kinds of greens in here. We've got kale, which is one of the most nutrient dense sort of greens that you can get. Actually, Whole Foods gives us a little list here of the most nutrient dense foods, and actually kale is second on the list out of all the green vegetables. Spinach is 5th, so that's going to be our other one. We're going to have spinach and kale in here as our vegetables, and trust me, you won't even taste them. I just wanted to give a little tip here about what I do with my spinach and leafy greens and things like that. I actually got this tip from my friend Nicole. You take a container like this, and this is one that I got spinach in before, and I'm just reusing it. You take the container, you line it with a piece of paper towel on the bottom. Then you wash your produce, you wash your greens, put them on top of that paper towel there, and then throw another paper towel on top and close it up and keep it in the fridge. This is going to keep your greens really fresh, and it's an easy way to prolong the life. And then that way, once you get home from the store, you put those in there, wash them up, put them in there, and then they're ready to go anytime. And the chances of you actually using spinach or greens in that case are just a little bit higher than if you hadn't washed them in the first place. So let's go ahead and make this recipe here. So for the double green smoothie, it calls for 1.5 cups of unsweetened non-dairy beverage, such as almond rice or soy milk. And we can do that would be fine. I don't have any, so I'm just going to use regular milk. I usually use 1%, but whichever one you want to use is fine, and it'll just be a little bit healthier if you use the almond or the soy milk, but I'm fine with milk today. So I'm going to put 1.5 cups in the blender, just like that. Then I'm going to take, it calls for 1 cup of kale and 1 cup of spinach. It says chopped, doesn't really matter. When you have kale comes in a form that looks something like this, and basically it has these this big thick spine along each section, and all you have to do is just sort of rip off the kale from the spine, because you're not going to use the spine at all. You're going to actually throw that part out. So I rip off all the kale from the outside just like this, and I'm going to take the pieces, rip them into a little bit smaller pieces, but it doesn't really matter because the blender is going to do that work here. Rip that into smaller pieces, throw it into your blender with the milk, and you're good. I did another piece here too. Let me just put that in there. This looks like a lot of greens, but actually you won't even notice it, which is the surprising part. Take some of your spinach and throw that in there. It calls for 1 cup. I'm going to put a little less because I did put a lot of kale in there. And that's good. I'm going to put this back on top. Then it calls for 2 dried apricots or 4 pitted dates. I have some organic Turkish apricots from Whole Foods here. You can get them from wherever. But I take 2 of these guys and just throw them in. And these are good for fiber. They do a little bit of sweetening as well, and often you'll find organic products and things like that are sweetened with apricots or dates. And the fiber is really great here too. One word to the wise though, don't eat these plain like a bunch of them, because you'll be having let's say digestive problems. These things are really powerful as far as fiber goes. So the next thing we want is a whole banana. So I'm just going to peel this guy. And put the pieces in there. And the last thing that we're going to have is some frozen berries. Now, the thing about frozen berries is they're great for smoothies because they make it cold. It's great to have berries in there because there's tons of antioxidants and things like that. But there's tons of seeds. So if you're not a seed person, maybe you want to try a different kind of fruit, maybe some pineapple or some melon or something like that. I'm just going to get my frozen berries out. Nope, those are meatballs. Okay, here's the berries. I guess I could put meatballs in there. That would be some more protein, yeah. You could, that's another thing. I mean, don't put meatballs in your smoothie, but you could always throw some protein powder in too to add a little bit of that in there. This calls for a half a cup, so I'm just gonna sort of eyeball it, and I'll put more in because I love these guys. That's it. So all we're gonna do now is blend this up, and we'll see if we can actually get it to blend because it's a pretty thick mix. Here we go. Awesome. All right, this is thick and delicious. Let's take a closer look at this. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see that. It's delicious. It looks really good. It looks like berries. It smells like fruit, and actually it smells a little bit like vegetables. But don't let that scare you. The smell will go away as it mixes. Here it is. Deliciousness. Yum. So I'm gonna grab a big glass here. Big tall beer glass. Don't tell my husband I'm using his glasses. Take the shake, pour it in. Look how thick that is. Yum. Okay, I'm sharing this recipe with you because it's super healthy and you don't even taste the healthy part. That's the nice part about this one. I was really worried the first time I tried this because I was like, oh God, is it gonna taste like kale? Because I'm not a huge kale fan as far as like having it raw and things like that. I have great recipes for kale, but I always have to sort of, you know, dress it up to want to eat it. But when you put it in here, it tastes awesome. I'm just gonna give it a little taste here. Yeah, it's great. You can't taste any of the vegetables, and if you chew down, you can feel the spinach and the kale kind of a thing. But as long as you just suck this thing down, you're gonna be good. One word to the wise though, so you don't look like a fool. After you're done drinking this, go to the bathroom and check your teeth, because you are going to have so many little pieces of kale and berry seeds and things like that. So make sure you do that. That's the only word of caution I give with this smoothie. So try this at home. It's an awesome way to have a full breakfast in just a couple of minutes with tons of nutrition. So thank you for stopping by the Watering Mouth, and I hope you come back soon, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.